So, are you thinking about selling your home in the next couple of years? Well, let me tell you, the old rules, they're out the window. The market has totally shifted. So let's dive into the new playbook for getting the absolute most value for your home in 2026. This is the million-dollar question, right? I mean, it's probably your biggest asset. And the secret to maximizing its value isn't what it used to be just a few years ago. It is a whole new ballgame out there. And look, the answer is not what you're seeing in the headlines every day. It goes way deeper than just talking about interest rates and inventory levels. No, we're talking about a fundamental shift in what buyers actually want and how sellers really need to think. Okay, so to really get a handle on this new game, we have to get inside the minds of today's buyers and sellers. Their motivations are completely different now. And you know what? It all starts with the sellers. This quote from Mike Pappas, man, it just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. So many homeowners are sitting pretty with these fantastic low-rate mortgages and a ton of equity. They aren't in a rush. They're not just chasing some magic price tag. They're waiting for a real reason to move. You know, a new job, a growing family, something like that. That patience completely changes the dynamic of the market. All right, so if that's what's going on with sellers, what about the buyers? What are they looking for? Well, it turns out the whole idea of what value even means has changed a lot. It's not just about getting a deal anymore. And Pam Liebman from the Corcoran Group absolutely nails it here. You see, for buyers today, value is so much more than just a low price. It's about the lifestyle, it's about quality. They are willing to pay way more for a home that is turnkey, completely done, ready to move into tomorrow. That whole dream of snagging a cheap fixer-upper, yeah, that's kind of fading into the background. So you see the tension here, right? It's this incredible push and pull. On one side, you've got these buyers who are super sharp. They're analytical. They're watching every little market shift. And on the other side, you've got sellers who have the financial security to just sit back and wait for the perfect offer. This dynamic makes every single deal so much more strategic. And all that tension, it just creates a ton of uncertainty. And in a market that's flooded with data, and let's be honest, some scary headlines, experts are seeing a surprising comeback of a very human element, this simple need for trust. And this part is just fascinating to me. I mean, isn't it wild? We have all the data in the world right on our phones, but it's actually making people feel less sure of themselves. Like Mike Papa says, people are skeptical of algorithms and clickbait headlines. They just want a trusted human advisor who can cut through all that noise and tell them what's what. So how do you build that trust? Well, the experts are all pointing to a few key things. It really comes down to total transparency on things like costs, a real commitment to integrity and ethics, providing insights that go deeper than just the raw data, and, maybe most importantly, clearly showing the value a real expert brings to the table. Okay, so we know buyers want these turnkey homes and that sellers need trusted advice. But what does turnkey actually translate to in dollars and cents? Let's switch gears from psychology to the hard data, because honestly, the financial impact of a well-prepared home is pretty mind-blowing. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. We keep using this phrase, best prepared home, right? Well, a rigorous university study actually went out and put a number on what that means. And the answer they found was, wow, very profitable. And first off, let's be clear, this wasn't some flimsy online poll. These researchers were incredibly meticulous. They compared brand new homes that were practically twins, same school district, same construction year, similar size, number of bedrooms, you name it. Basically, they made sure everything was as apples to apples as you can get, so they could zero in on just one key difference. And that one key difference they were looking for, it all comes down to this really important distinction. The study didn't just look at homes that were nicely decorated. No, it specifically looked at homes where a professional interior designer was involved. We're talking about someone who's formally trained in things like space planning and material selection, not just someone who's good at picking out pillows. It's a huge difference, and it's everything.
So here's how they did it. They took 12 of these very similar homes. For 6 of them, the builder just sold them as is. But for the other 6, they brought in a professional interior designer to guide all the finished selections. And when you look at the results, well, the pattern just jumps right off the screen, doesn't it?
All right, get ready for this. Here's the number that made my jaw drop. The homes with the designer's professional input sold for an average of $54.67 more per square foot. Think about it. On a 3,000 square foot house, that's an extra what? $164,000. That's not just a little bump. That is huge.
Let's look at it another way, because this is just staggering.
The average sales price for the standard non-designer homes was around $605,000. But the homes with a designer's touch, they averaged over $905,000. That's a $300,000 difference. It is clear, quantifiable proof that investing in professional design pays off. Big time.
Okay, so what does all this actually mean for you? We've talked about the new market psychology, we've looked at the hard data. So now let's boil it all down into a simple, actionable blueprint for success.
Here it is, plain and simple, your 2026 playbook. It's just 3 steps. First, you've got to aim for turnkey. Buyers today will pay a massive premium for quality and move-in readiness. Second, leverage professional expertise. In a market this complicated, a trusted advisor is absolutely priceless. And third, invest in professional design. Remember, the data proves it's not a cost. It's an investment that can unlock serious, measurable value in your home.
So as we wrap this up, the big takeaway is this. Your home is so much more than just a place to live. It's a major financial asset, and it's competing in a whole new arena. So the question you have to ask yourself is your home prepared to win?